Hey, Greek class. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about learning vocabulary. I know I've given you a repetition and review as a handout, and we've talked about it, but I thought it might be helpful for you to see it in action. So that's my plan for today, is to see if I can show you that real quick in just in a few minutes. So first thing you want to do is get you some little note cards to write your vocabulary words on. Now, these were originally 4x6 blank index cards. They're blank on both sides, no lines. And so I cut them in half and made them 3 inches wide. And then by the 4, I cut into 4 little ones so that they're 1 inch. So these are 1 by 3 inch. But you can make whatever size you want. And in all honesty, if it wasn't so wasteful, I'd probably make them a little bit wider, a little bit wider, but 3 inches is plenty long. And trying to make them 1 inch and a third, I probably could have used millimeters and made that work, but the little quick zippy cut thing I was using didn't have centimeters on it. It only had the antiquated English system on it. But anyway, they're not perfectly the same, but they're pretty close. And so what I do now is I take my cards and I sit down with my vocabulary. So what I've got here is I've got lesson 23, and you can see my vocabulary cards. And see, what I do here is I just sit down and I write out my vocabulary words. Just as I normally would, and then I flip them over and I write the English on the back. And we've got on, next, and on is we'll talk about it later on. On is one of those words that doesn't really have a translation, but it's just a contingency, and that'll make more sense. So I'm going to write contingency particle on the back and put it in parentheses, and that'll actually on the vocab, that's the only word you can leave blank, and I'll give it to you right. So pray that that's on there a lot. But you just keep working down through here, see what's next. Graphe. Well, graphe should be pretty easy for us as a noun. Notice that it's a feminine noun, so I write the definite article with it. It just means writing. But it's also the word that's used for scripture or scriptures. That's the kind of the word that the Hebrews will use for Bible. And then you just would continue to do this. So this is what I would do first in my order is about a week before these are going to be due. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write these out. But I would sit down and I would finish writing all of these out, and that's where I would go. That's where I would go from there. Now, the next thing that I would do is I would I'd put a rubber band around those. I'm going to flip over here now and change around a little bit. And these are lesson 21 words, and I wanted to kind of show you the sorting methodology that I use when I first do the words. And so I'm looking down through the words, and I usually just go through them the first time and try to pronounce them correctly. So I've got agapao, aiteo, akalutheo, ginao, herao, parakaleo. Pretty good collection of words here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort these, and really when I say sort them, I'm going to put them in groups of 5 dissimilar words. So I'm going to try to put words that start with the same letter, not in the same group if I can avoid it at all. So I've got agapao. I'm going to put that in my first group. The next word's aiteo. I'm going to go ahead and start a second group with that. I'll show you my groupings here in a minute. You might could kind of we might can kind of do this a little bit, and you can see that. So agapao, and then akalutheo. That's akalutheo there. Now I know I've got probably 20 some words, so I need 4 groups of 5, and then ganao is my next word. I'll just start a 4th pile with that. And then we got harao. It doesn't really matter which one I put that with. Parakaleo. Now I know kaleo's coming up, so I just need to make sure and not put parakaleo and kaleo in the same pile. Pas. Now that starts with a P, so I'll put it over here. Peripateo. Put that one right there. Plerao. I don't have a P starting. Okay, now here's an issue. I've got poieo, and I've got a word that starts with a P in all 4 groups. I'm going to put that verb with my adjective pas. And then I've got seautu, staurao, phobeomai, laleo, zeteo. Now kaleo, I don't want that one in that group with parakaleomai. And then zao, looky here. Okay, now I've got 5 in this group right here. Hemautu and seautu. Now I see heiautu and seautu in the same group, and I don't really want those because I know those are similar sounding words. So I might just move that over here. And so now, just so you can see this turned right side up, here are my columns now, kind of all together. All right. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually go ahead and just group these up into stacks of 5. Now this is just a stack of 4, so I want to make sure and put it at the end. But the rest of these, and it doesn't matter what order I pick these up in. This is when I'm first learning the words. Now if I wanted to take these with me and be on the go, I would just go ahead and stack these up like this, putting that group of just 4 on the very bottom. And then I would take my my rubber band, and that would go. Those are my new words. Those are the ones that I have come and do in the very near future. And so what I would do with those is those are going to go everywhere with me, everywhere with me. And when I have time, what I'll do is I'll take this out. Looky here. I'll take this out and I will count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll take that first group of 5. Now look here. I can put the rubber band around the rest of these, and I'm going to work just on these 5, and I'll just practice them. And again, first thing I do is I just work on pronunciation in Greek. I don't pay much attention to what the word means at all. So poieo, pas, I might kind of split that up from that other P word, phobeomai, genao, pasapon, zao, and I'm back to poieo. And I'm going to keep saying those until, because sometimes when we first look at a word like phobeomai, it might, that's probably backwards to you, it might be hard to say, and so I just keep pronouncing them till I'm good to go. Then once I'm pretty well comfortable with saying them correctly, I'm going to start looking at the English words. So now I'm going to say poieo, and I'm going to say, oh yeah, that's I do or I make. Poieo, I do or make. Okay. Phobeomai, I fear. All right, I fear. Genao, I begat or I bear. All right, pretending like I don't know these words. All right, leave me alone. Pasapon, that's all, every, or it can also mean entire or whole. But now listen, if you just put all the first gloss down, I'm going to count it right. You don't have to put all those down for the vocabulary quiz. And you can look up the more remote glosses when you're translating. So you're good to go. Zao, I live. And now I'm back to poieo. And then what I want to do is I'm going to go through them again. Poieo, I make, I do. Phobeomai, I fear. Genao, I begat. Pasapon, all. Zao, I live. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to say, okay, I'm getting these right most of the time. What I might do is maybe shuffle them once, just real quickly, and get them in a different order. Phobeomai, that's I fear. Oh, looky there, I got it right. So, boom, I'm going to set that one down right there. Genao, oh, looky there. I begat, or I bear. All right, I got that one right. I'm going to put that down right there. Poieo, poieo. I'm going to just want you to kind of see my piles here. Poieo. Oh, that's I do or I make. See, I got that one right too. So I'm going to put that right there. Pasapon. Let's say I missed that one. I put that one to the bottom. Zao, I live. I got that right. Now, see, I want to be able to say them before I turn them over. Now, let's say I got them all. I got all those right. All right? I'm good to go. These are the ones I'm working on. I've shuffled them. I've been through them once, and I got them all right. See, they're going to go right here. Okay? And now I'm going to open my pile back up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, those are my next words. And I'm going to go through these just like I did my first pile. And I'm going to learn them and master them 5 at a time. Now let's say maybe I got a little bit of a break, or I don't have time right now and I need to run, or maybe I just sat down to study these while I was sitting in the Maddox. Look, I can take the ones that I've already learned and put them on the very bottom of my pile, and I normally put them in upside down. That way, if I'm counting them out, I know I've already learned those. And then I take my next 5 rather than putting them back in with that, and I just use that rubber band and put that around them once so that I've got them separate there, and I can carry that. I can carry that in my pocket. When I get a chance, looky here. There's my 5 sitting right there on top of me. I can pull it out. I'm good to go. All right? And so now I learned my 5. Let's say I learned my new 5. I've got my old 5 back down here. Let me get those out. All right, I got my new 5, my old 5. Now, here's my first 5 I learned. Here's my second 5 I've just mastered. I put those in there with these. Once I master another 5, I pick them up with all the ones I've already learned, those first 5 in this group, and I shuffle them up, and I go through them, and if I mess any of them, I set them down. Looky here. If I get it right, Zao, I live. I got that right. Poieo, I do or make. I got that right. Genao, I begat. I bear. I got that right. Laleo, let's say I messed up and I didn't know that one. I'm going to set that one right here. And then let's say maybe I also missed phobeomai. All right? But I got all of these right. Now, I look back through these words and I say phobeomai. I fear. Phobeomai. Now, at this stage, what I normally do is, I'm rehearsing it 2 or 3 times. What I normally do is I ask myself, phobeomai, can I think of any type of a mnemonic device? Well, phobia. Or maybe I look in Croy and look at the mnemonic devices that he gave me in parentheses and see if that reinforces it. And then laleo, all right? Laleo, laleo. La 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 la. I speak, I say. And then I just work these 2 until I feel confident. I pick them back up with my now 10 words learned. I shuffle. I go through. Once I get them all right, I take my next 5, which only leaves me 4, remember, and I continue that process until I've learned all of my words for the next week. Okay? Now, I still carry those with me. Even after I've mastered the 5, I carry those with me, and I review them every chance I get. But even if I just sit down and memorize just a couple of them, I just go with 2 of them. Now, I'm going to keep my words that are due. Let's say these were due on next Monday. I'm going to keep these with me at all times until Monday, and I'm going to review them as much as possible. And then on that day that I have my next test, first time I get them, I'm going to take my quiz. I'm going to come back to the room that night, and I'm going to move these to what I call the known pile, the words I know. All right, let's just put that right there. I'm going to take my next lesson. I've got lesson 22 here. I'm going to sort them into 5s, all right, groups of 5 of dissimilar words, and I'm going to learn them for the next time that they come up. First quiz day on these, then I'm going to add those to the known pile. Now listen to me, this is important. I'm going to rehearse the known pile 2 or 3 times a week. All right? 3 or 4 would be better, but if you can at least get 3 times, go through the whole thing. When I go through the known pile, any of them that I miss, I make a new pile called trouble. I keep that to the side. And the trouble pile gets reviewed every day, once a day, until I know it, and then I move it back to the known pile. You only get one shot on the known pile when you're rehearsing it that 3 or 4 times a week, 2, 3, 4 times a week. If you miss one in the known pile, it goes to trouble. Trouble is reviewed every day until you go, man, I got this word. It's ready to go back to known. You put it back in known. So you've always got a couple of piles. You've got your known pile. That should be your biggest pile. You review it 3 or 4 times a week. You've got your trouble pile. Those are the ones you've messed out of the known pile, and they stay in the trouble pile till you know them. You move them back. The trouble pile is reviewed every day, and then you've got your new pile, or those are the words that are coming up, and that shouldn't be but like the next lesson. If you get a lesson behind, that puts 2 lessons in that new pile. You carry them with you. You've got them in groups of 5. You master them. You repeat, and you review. And listen, this system, it really works, even with hundreds of words. And we're not ever going to have 1,000 words in Greek. If you know 500 Greek words, you know about 80% of the words used in the New Testament. So we're going to work on mastering those 500 words over our studies in Greek, and then we'll look the rest up, and we won't worry about it, and we'll be in good shape. The key is keeping those new words with you at all times and taking advantage of any free moment, even a minute or 2 of doing that. And I think that hopefully this will help you kind of maybe see it in action a little bit better. And I would love to talk to you about it some more. So come by my office and let me know if we can work on something along this lines. Hope you have a great day. Peace be with you.